I'm telling you that spoke.
All right. Again, thank you for joining us. I am your host, Daylon Thomas, and I'm so excited to be here tonight. We had just a few technical difficulties. We have a special guest on tonight, and we're so excited that she's able to join us. But look, let me get right down to it. On last week, we talked about Monique's rant and everything that went on with that. And I followed that up with the fact that perhaps there are some that just don't know, that maybe just don't understand. And so I wanted to take the time and invite my guest on so we can have this conversation, so that you can join us in this conversation. So go ahead right now, if you're on Facebook, hit like and share. Don't be selfish tonight. Share these tips that we're going to get with someone on tonight. And if you're a part of my YouTube audience, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that alarm button so that you can be notified every time it is that we go live. So let's get right down to it. And so on tonight, we're going to discuss the topic, why a woman's dress code matters. That's right. Why does it matter? And I know what you're saying. You're saying, why should I have a dress code? A dress code reminds me of being in school or being in certain places that required a dress code. For instance, going out to a particular nightclub, they have a dress code. And why would I want to limit myself to having a dress code? And while I'm not talking about those types of dress codes where it's something that someone else puts on you, what I'm talking about is simply the code that you put on yourself. That's right, your own personal dress code. And so why would you have a dress code? Well, let me tell you what I think. I think that most of the times what we do is we follow the trends. That's right. Whatever is trending, we follow, some of us, what those trends are. So if the trend just happens to be that everyone is wearing bonnets now, it's made popular. You guys remember Tammy Roman? She's made it popular to wear a bonnet. She even has a podcast called Bonnet Diaries. So you can understand that perhaps that the young Black women that were out in public wearing their bonnets perhaps were following a trend that may have been pushed by Miss Tammy Roman. Shout out to Tammy. And so if you don't have a code, then you are at the beckoning of the trend. What is your code? I'm so glad you asked. Well, a code is your standard. It is a rule of thumb. And you could say, for instance, that your code would be that there's a certain level that you will not go beneath when you're going out in public. That could be your code. And so I want to get right down into it because, listen, have you ever been a person that you received an invitation and the invitation said that it was a formal event, or maybe it said semi-formal, and you didn't quite understand what that meant? And so you just dressed your best, only to find out that when you arrived at the event, you were either overdressed or underdressed. Has that ever happened to you? Oh, by the way, has it ever happened to you that perhaps your significant other said, hey, I want to invite you to a family cookout? And you said, cookout, ding, ding. It'll be cute, a good time to just get cute and wear my sneakers. And, they're probably going to play volleyball and all those things. And you get prepared because in your mind, it's going to be a family cookout. And you get there and everyone is decked out, and they're looking really good and spiffy, and you're saying, why didn't you tell me that people were going to be dressed like this? Has that ever happened to you? Well, I'll tell you, if you have your own code, those things wouldn't happen. And perhaps you just needed the right definition for what a dress code is and the different types of codes. And so I want to get down to it. I want to go ahead and bring on my special guest. No, before we do that, because I really have to drill this home. Because I'm telling you, I know that I'm not the only one who's seeing this person at work. I know that I'm not the only one that has seen this person show up in the office. So I want to show this clip, and we're going to come back and we're going to go further into this discussion and this conversation that we're having on tonight. So go ahead, again, hit like and share, tag someone in it, because you don't want them to miss the conversation we're going to have tonight. Watch this, and we'll be back.
To you privately.
Wow. Come on. Has that ever happened to you? Did you ever walk into your office and you saw someone and you said, wait a minute, they're not dressed appropriately for the workplace? Hey, it's Dress Down Friday. Have you ever been the one who underdressed for Dress Down Friday? Can I share with you? I'm telling you, in one of the companies that I worked for, the actual boss had to come in and remind certain individuals, and the way they did it was very tasteful, but they just said it to everyone, that there were certain ones that had offensive types of outfits on Casual Friday, and therefore they had to make some stipulations on what it is. Yeah, check this, that you could not wear. That's right. You don't think you would have to do that for adults, but I'm telling you, it does happen. So let's go ahead and get right down to this conversation. I am so excited about my guest. She's a friend of the show. The one and only Miss Candida Whiting is here with us tonight, and I'm so happy to have her. Come on, give me some applause, give me some likes, some thumbs up. We just want to welcome her to the show tonight. How are you doing, Miss Candy? I think you're muted.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, awesome.
Wow. So good to see you on tonight. So good to have you join
great.
us again. Yes.
Of course.
Yes. So what's up? Every time I see you, you're traveling somewhere, and that's wonderful. Look.
Yeah. Enjoying life. I'm telling you, that is one thing that we have to do more and more of. I'm telling you. But I want to get right down to this discussion tonight that you've joined us on. Let's just have a conversation. Now, I'm not certain if you were able to watch last week or just heard the rant from Monique about the bonnet. And what do you have to offer? What is your opinion about the direction that we see our young Black men and women going in terms of fashion and trends? What do you have to offer? Yeah. The word trend to me makes me cringe. Let's just put that out. Anytime you have
people and a trend is in the mix, it may get a little scary anyway. And I think that's why this bonnet thing on to the levels that it's gone to, because so many people want to follow trends instead of setting their own style.
Right.
With, and it's like they're just gonna follow everything that's going on. It doesn't even have to look good, i.e. the bonnet. And because it's a trend, people think it's okay to do. And let me tell you something to the ladies. That is not a good look out in public.
I agree.
It isn't.
I agree.
I agree with everything that she said in her video. She was spot on. That's something, of course, that you wear in the house, going to bed. But outside of your home, especially to places like airport, leave that bonnet where it needs to be left, and that's at home.
Exactly. Yeah. I concur 100%. As we shared last week. And I want to say that, and I had some notes here, because we're talking about your dress code. And, we wanted to take the time to explain exactly what we meant by that. Of course, when we talk about a code, we use it as an acronym that simply means classy options deliver every time. Classy options deliver every time. And that's from a man's perspective. And classy, of course, that word is relative. What may be classy to one may not be classy to others. But if you take the time for your own code to develop it, then those options will deliver, meaning that you will receive the response that you desire when you choose to have your own dress code. I like to say that your dress code is your personal commercial. You are the brand, you are the product, and how you present that product is your own personal commercial. Did you guys get that? So when you're considering what your dress code is, think about a commercial. Think about how product placement is important. How you present that product is important. And if you keep those things in mind, I'm certain that you will get, again, those classy options will deliver every time. What do you have to say towards that?
No, I totally agree. I heard you mention earlier about people may be oblivious or kind of ignorant to what the code is.
Right.
But from your definition, it's simply your style.
Right.
It's your style that's relevant to, whatever it is that you're doing at the time, though. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand that, what may be good for going to the store is not necessarily going to be good going to work or or going to church or going. So you have to use, your best, I guess. Everybody doesn't have, because I've seen it, everybody doesn't have that sense of style.
That is key.
Everybody have that. And there are things that you need to work on and, question about when it's time to go to certain places and, put your best self first and forward. But back to, and I love that acronym. What is it again?
Classy options deliver every time. Classy options deliver. I want type that in the comments. Those that are watching, type that in the comments. Classy options deliver every time. And so let me go a step further, because I think that your dress code, it communicates three things. First of all, it speaks to where you've been and what your background possibly could have been. First point. It projects either a good or bad image,
And I want to say this because I put this in my notes, that a man's woman is his greatest prize. And so when he has that prize on his arm, if you have your dress code, classy options, deliver every time, you're going to make your man look like a prize winner because you are his greatest prize. And I have these conversations where people ask me, and I'm going to share this. They say, well, why? They say I'm okay dressing. Why don't you share and help men? And I say to them, well, I'm really not interested in men. But I think by showing an example, I am helping them. Yeah. Because some have even asked, where did I get my hat from? And I like the way you dress. And these are comments that I get. But I think that I'm sharing from a man's perspective, because as I look at the plethora of YouTube channels out there, it seems to me that a lot of them are bashing women. They're bashing them. They're uplifting the men while bashing the women. And for me, I think that I serve a better purpose to uplift the women, to help them in areas that the men say from their rants and their bashing that they believe the women are lacking. Now, no, I don't think the women are lacking personally, but I think that there are some tips that can help that maybe, just maybe, I can share that will build the self-esteem of someone. Or, as we talk about further in this conversation, as you just made the point, style. What if I am someone who's able to afford the tools, which are the brands, the luxury brands? I can afford them, but I don't have a sense of style. What can I do? What if I'm a person that, as I said, point number one, speaks to where you've been, your background. What if I've never been to a black tie gala? I may not have a clue on what it is I am to wear. Now, I know because most of us all have, sometimes it's indicative of just where you are. Maybe in your area, when they said black tie gala, it was just at the church and the banquet hall. It was the pastor's anniversary in the dining hall. That's where it was. And so your expression is more in line with just dressing really well for a church service, not understanding what a black tie gala means. And so that's why this platform is here, so that we can educate, we can inform, and we can share our knowledge. That's why I bring on the best guests to share with it. And let's get it down to, I'm sorry I went off on that, but I just get so many questions on why, and why don't you do that? And if I'm telling you, I think I do that sometimes. I do talk to men, and you'll hear it in this conversation as well. But my focus, I have daughters. My focus is to help the young women. And so you older women out there, why don't you just let me help them? How about that? Because guess what? I know that some of you are competing for the same man. That's why you don't want me to help the younger ones. But I want to help them. I'm here to help you as well. So let's get back to this. So your dress code speaks to where you've been. It speaks to where you are presently. All right? Where you are presently. And let me ask you, do you agree or disagree that you can kind of tell sometimes where a person is in terms of financially and on all of those things simply, or even the state of mind that they're in, by their dress code? What do you say to that?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because you can't always tell financially. Right. Because there's so many people out there that are trying to impress people with money they really don't have. So you really can't tell where they are financially, but I think you can tell where they are emotionally and mentally. A lot of people who are just going through life, it'll tell in their everyday appearance. They won't put effort into their appearance at all. Whereas you find most people that are happy and, having the time of their lives at that point, they want to look like they feel. So when I step out of that door and I'm about to go somewhere, my reflection is in my appearance. And like you mentioned earlier, it's your walking commercial or your business card. You have to think of yourself as your own entity. You know what I'm saying? You may work for somebody else, but you are your business. Right. So every time you step out the door and your appearance tells everything about you, regardless if you may feel that that's fair or not, it does. People are always looking at you, and what you look like tells them a lot about you.
Very good point. Very good point. And I concur. And that's why I think that your personal dress code matters. It's something that you say and you establish, and you say no. As I was growing up, my mother would always say, even if you feel bad, you should have a standard that you don't go under. Right. You have, when you go out, if you feel that you can't keep that standard, just don't go out. just don't go out if you can't keep that standard. I'm not talking about if you're wearing the Givenchy or the Saint Laurent or Balenciaga or any of those luxury brands. I'm talking about just whatever your dress code is. And again, as you made the point, financially, I could say this. You can't tell because so many people do wear items that perhaps they and I would never tell them, because I tell people to live. If you got it and you want to buy it, do that. I don't know what's in your pocket, But again, I just want to ensure that we have established our own personal dress code. And we're going to look a little bit further in, but let me make my last point, these three things. It speaks where you can potentially go. So I was always told that you dress for where you're going, not for where you are. So it is important and indicative of us to make certain that our dress code speaks to where we're going and not just where we are. What do you have to say?
I agree. No, I totally agree. I think whatever we're trying to manifest in our lives, i.e. where we're going, we always have to walk that. Yes. And I think I mentioned if you want to put a bonnet on, that's the life you're going to walk into, that bonnet life. Ooh. And you know what I'm saying? Right. Dress the part, dress how, the life that you want to live. I made a statement to one of my friends. I said, we're upset that Aunt Jemima is on a box of pancakes and syrup. Yet we're looking and we're walking around with bonnets on looking like Aunt Jemima. We have to be mindful of how we step out and what we look like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. We gotta show up as our highest self on a daily basis.
That's right.
To manifest that we want that are higher than where we are. And we need to elevate higher. And it's not, I'm sorry, it's not with bonnets on, but that's another day.
No, I'm right here with you. And you know what? I think sometimes, and we see this play out, unfortunately, people treat you, how they treat you sometimes is based on how you address and how they receive you. Yep. And so exactly. to that young lady who maybe dresses provocatively and wonders, why do I keep attracting the same type of guy that talks to me any kind of way?
that treats me any kind of way? Perhaps the answer is the way they perceive you to be by what you showed them. Perhaps that's the answer. It doesn't give them a reason to treat you that way, but it's within that person that you're attracting. It's just the person. He doesn't deserve to treat you any kind of way that you don't like, but you keep attracting that person that it is within them. It's part of their dichotomy, their composition to do that. And that's the reason. But if you would just simply change, or maybe grab yourself a dress code, then you won't attract those type of, let me tell you, it will do wonders. Just try that. Try that. What do you say about that? What do you have to say? Come on.
Yeah, I agree. I agree to an extent. I also think it's about how you carry yourself as well. I do think men will tend to come up with their own ideas about what type of person you are from the way you dress.
Yeah.
It's sad. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, I should be able to wear what I want to wear. And I totally agree. But it's the world that we live in. And there's not a lot we can do about it. In the same way that there's not a lot we can do about, being discriminated against because we're women or we're black, sometimes you just have to change, what do they say? If you can't change the people around you, change the people around you. Sometimes you just have to change the way you appear to others.
Very good.
And that's through your outfits.
Very good. Let me just share this, and I'm just going to be very transparent. When I used to go out to the clubs, and I used to love to dance, and that's why I went to the club. I just love the music and to dress up and to mingle and all those things. But there were certain women that I could approach, and I knew when I approached them, it's not going to be on and popping. After that first approach, I was going to have to see them out several more times just to be able to get a dance with them. That's AB's laughing because she knows it to be true. But there were others. I didn't know anything about them. All I could see is what they had on. And I knew what type of Mac I was going to put on based on what I saw, how much effort it was going to take. And I wanted to share that because in hopes to really drive home the point that it's about your personal dress code. Yes, style is important within that dress code, but within that code, you're saying, hey, and I'm not saying you can do what you want. You can have, just like when you're working out, you're in the gym and you're eating healthy, you have what do you have? You have a cheat day. That's the day you're going to eat all of the ice cream and the sweets and all those things and the bread that you didn't eat the rest of the week. You have that day. So I'm not saying that you can't have those days that you say, you know what, I just want to have fun. I want to dress this particular outfit. I'm going to wear it and I'm going to do that. But we're saying at least have in your mind, I have a code. I have a standard. A rule of conduct is what a code is. I have a rule of conduct that or a standard that I'm not going to regularly go under. I've said it here, and this is what I'm going to do. And so in that code, this is what we're going to talk about. Go ahead. I know you had something you wanted to add.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree.
Good. So let's look at some of these actual dress codes because we're going to talk about that. So let's look at some of these dress codes. So if you were to just have a casual day, a casual dress code, all right? So this is what we have for a casual dress code. You can put it up there now. So casual for him, I like this. It says, think Homer Simpson, t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers are appropriate. You may also opt to step it up a notch with khakis, cargos, a polo shirt, or Henley and still fit in just fine for her. Put your favorite jeans. You can pull out your favorite jeans, You can opt for a comfortable tee or dress things up a bit with a stylish top, jewelry, or even a blazer. Depending on the nature of the event, your footwear can range safely from sneakers to heels to boots. Okay, so that's casual. So let's show what we have in terms of casual. Again, very simple, right? Just jeans, a nice top, and to make it, again, the classy option. Throw on some heels. It's still very casual, and those probably are some wedge heels, something that's very comfortable to wear, very casual, but still fly. Still fly. I like it. Let's go to the next one. Just mix it up a little bit with a blazer. Very simple. And again, you don't see any brand names. That outfit could come from anywhere. But you have to have a good pair of jeans. What do you say about that? What would you suggest to recommend for casual day?
Yeah, I love that outfit, actually. I think more people would think is a little bit more dressy casual with the heels and the blazer. So, yeah, you can definitely dress it up or down.
But you know what's amazing that you said that? There's so many sneakers that are out now that are just really great sneakers. And they don't look like you're getting ready to go play kickball or something. Right. They look very good that you could, it's casual, but yet they give off a certain je ne sais quoi when you see them on. And I love it. And I think that every woman should invest in a nice pair of sneakers that they don't look run over, like the tire just hit them, but a nice pair of sneakers that, when you're going to the mall or the grocery store, you can wear those. Let's go on. Let's go to business casual, since we just stepped on that. And I'm just going to read specifically the women. It says, dress pants or khakis with a fashionable top is appropriate. A casual skirt is also an option. Feel free to dress up your outfit with heels, again, jewelry, and or accessories if desired. So let's show our lookbook on our business casual. Yes, just simple. What do you think? I mean, yeah. Let me put this disclaimer out there.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a little bit more dressy.
More dressy.
Than this casual. Yeah.
See,
that's the professional wear for an everyday type of corporate office attire. Because and I'm still in corporate America, but I'm not working in the office anymore. We're working from home, but we were able to wear business casual on Fridays. That's the day that everybody chooses. And you are able to wear khakis or, some type of it wasn't a jean unless it was a special time that we could actually wear jeans. But now this particular outfit that I see now is something that we had to wear. That was our dress code for every day.
Business.
Yeah.
Yes. Show the next one. Show the next one. Let me hear what you guys think in the comments. What do you think?
Yeah.
Now, I have to give it this disclaimer because there were so little photos out there for women of color.
Okay.
So I have to implore everyone to start taking pictures and stop taking the booty shots. Please stop taking the booty shots. Let's take some real pictures so that people like me can share them instead of the booty photos. Okay, that's my disclaimer. I put it out there. And so this may not be too much business casual,
but I had to have something. Let's go on to smart casual, because this was a code that I kind of threw out there. It's safest to go with nice slacks or a skirt, though you can also wear a nice pair of dark jeans dressed up with a collared or otherwise dressy top. Throw on a blazer for an extra touch of class. So this is just a smart casual. And if you can share those. Again, very simple, but it's not casual. It's kind of a maybe more business, closer to that informal business than it is casual. But again, what do you say about this?
Yeah, definitely more of a business. More of a business attire. It's definitely not casual.
Yeah.
Definitely not casual to me at all.
I mean, what would you say if she took the blazer off? Would that be something that if she were going out maybe to after a bar or something after work, meet someone for drinks or anything like that?
Even with the blazer on, it could definitely be a bar outfit. Yeah. Cool. She could definitely go from the office on Friday to a happy hour.
Yes. What about this one? Because I think we need to offer some type of options, right? I don't know. What do you have to say? I have to throw something in there. AB says no for that one.
What is the no for?
For this particular one, she gives it a no.
Okay.
I mean, again, I was trying to find something, but this is what popped up, and I said, well, let me throw this out and see what Candy has to say about this one. Crickets. I get it. Moving on. Let's look at the business / informal. Okay, this is business informal. So informal attire may be a misnomer, as it does call for a bit of formality, not to be confused with casual attire. Business and informal attire is more sophisticated than smart casual, often signaling the needs for suits, ties, and dresses. And so for women, wear a business suit or business style dress with heels, high or low.
Yeah.
And just show those. Maybe, yes, no. This is again, is business informal. It's not too dressy. It's kind of, it's professional. I'm seeing that look.
And the one before that with the little leather skirt would have been appropriate for this as well. Yeah.
Let's go to the pantsuit. What do you think? Business informal. It's business, but it's not too formal, but it's a step above smart casual.
Yeah. Pantsuits used to be my favorite.
Now let me ask you a question. Is that something that you see more often than not now in this era, excuse me?
You see it as much. When I was wearing a lot of pantsuits, it was back in like the late 90s.
Yeah.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, I concur.
Yeah, when I was working in the banking scene, and that was just like my favorite go-to. I think now you can do it, but it's definitely a little different.
You know what? I said that only because I've seen where suits, like the Staples, one of my favorite brands in terms of suits, was my former employer, Hugo Boss. And
even when I go to their stores now, there's a smaller section with dressier suits. More or less now, they're the athleisure type of look, where the pants have drawstrings and instead of belt loops, and everything is kind of more casual. That's why I asked about that, because it's like, well, I don't really see a lot of women dressed in business suits anymore.
In business suits. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, it's kind of like that's what it's kind of going to, and I'm one who loves suits. Now, not necessarily to wear to work every day, but I love a good suit. So when I go to Hugo Boss and I don't see as many, I'm bothered about that. So so I just want to stay on the cutting edge and sharing what it is that we are offering in terms of this dress code. So maybe we won't see too many of the business suits anymore. Let's move on to semi-formal then. All right, semi-formal attire is more fancy than business attire, but just a notch below formal tuxedos and fancy gowns. This is the perfect time to bring out that little black dress. Most women will wear a classy short evening dress, though you may also opt for dressy separates. For dressy separates. So let's show those. Again, what I some of these are just to ask you, what can we do? What can we do in this case?
What kind of shoes are those?
Those look like some Buster Browns.
I mean, let me tell you, she could have had some, earrings on. I mean, some, drop earrings. She didn't even need a necklace for it tonight. But the shoes, oh my God. Can we do something with those shoes?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm saying this in all honesty. It is very difficult to find photos. Now, if I put bonnet in the search, guess what will come back?
You wouldn't have had any issues.
Right. Let's move on to this one. I mean, not okay, but I can tell. Yes, semi-formal. What do you think? Is it too much on the shoulder? Too little on the shoulder? Excuse me. What do you say about this for semi-formal?
I mean, I think if that's her style, semi-formal, she can get away with the semi-formal with this dress, definitely.
Good. All right. Finally, let's go on to the formal. And this is black tie. Formal black tie and black tie optional events are among the most fancy of all dress codes, and you will likely be surrounded by a crowd full of tuxedos and floor-length gowns. For women, you are safest wearing a long floor-length evening dress, a very fancy dress that is not flowing. Can't see that. May also be appropriate, and so I think that's what it says. So anyway, let's share our photos here of what formal would be. Okay. Now, if you're going to a wedding or to a ball or gala, this is something that is an option. What do you think?
Definitely.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
We can agree on that. Now show us our final option. Would you consider that to be formal?
Yeah, that would be formal.
I mean, I like it, but I think some jewelry is needed. I mean, maybe something on the neck.
Something and small though, because her earrings, so her earrings are so close to her neck. She really doesn't need a lot of jewelry on the neck.
Awesome. See that? Yeah. Let me talk to the audience. See those are the tips that you can get from our guests. I'm telling you, things like that could be a major faux pas if you went to a gala and you had the long earrings on and you decided you wanted to wear all of your jewelry all at once. I'm telling you. So again, as we're coming to the end of the show, I'm telling you, I've enjoyed this conversation, but I have to go a little bit further because this dress code, what do you see in terms of, again, the young woman who says, I want to be received by my peers, so that is the reason why I dress the way that I do. Because if I would dress any other way, then perhaps my circle of friends would disown me. What can you say to that young lady? Because I'm just...
I would say go get you some more friends.
I agree.
Seriously, if we are adults and we're worried about how our friends perceive us in the way that we dress, we might again need to get a new set of friends. But that goes back to confidence and ownership of your style.
Right.
And, not allowing yourself to be, I can't, shook by what somebody else has to say about what you wear, especially when you're looking good, especially when you have a great sense of style. And if they're upset about something, maybe it's because they're jealous of the way you look. And again, you may need some more friends. So yeah.
And that's a very important point. And as you said, jealousy. Sometimes someone doesn't want you, they don't want you to change your style because they're already jealous of you for the attention that you get. And then if you switched it up where it may be an advantage for you, then for them, it's a disadvantage. And so they're jealous. And so you cannot allow jealousy to hold you back from achieving that dress code that you desire. And so for that young lady who may be, thinking about that tonight and saying, I'm, my girlfriends, we all dress like this. And, we got, when we go out, everyone looks the same. And I'm going to challenge that young lady to step outside the box. Let me tell you something about men, because this is HeSpoke fashion, that we're not looking for the same, we're looking for the difference. We're looking for the difference. We're looking for that gem amongst all other types of stones. We're looking for that gem. And so the thing that makes you stick out is the thing that may attract your husband, because he's looking for something different. So I know you girls like to keep it ratchet and all of that and do all of those things, but did I say ratchet? Excuse me. But it's the guy that you want doesn't want the ratchetness. The guy that you want, he doesn't want the bonnet. The guy that you want wants the woman who stands out, who has that dress code, her own personal dress code. And every time he sees her, she doesn't go beneath her dress code. What do you have to say about that?
No, I totally agree. I do. I think you have to stand out in a lot of the ways that women want men to stand out. I don't want the guy that's walking around with his pants under his behind. So yeah, definitely. And when you said ratchet, I laughed, but I totally agree with you. That's just what it is today for a lot of people, and it's just not a good look.
Right.
So
right.
You need to stand out. You need to stand out. You need to have your own sense of style. You need to have your code. And just don't go with the trend. Stay away from trends, people.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me touch on this question. What would you say to the woman who says, I am not trying to attract a man or woman, so there's no need for me to adhere to any dress code because I'm not trying to attract anybody? What would you say to that person?
I don't think it's about, from my standpoint, I know it's how you dress isn't about who you're trying to attract. How you dress is about you. And as we stated earlier, it's about your business card, and it's about your commercial. It's about who you are as a person, and it has nothing to do with who you're trying to attract. And I do agree that there are some people that wear certain things to try to attract certain people, but don't think that everything is about somebody else. It's about you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's definitely about you and how you carry yourself and how you want others to perceive you,
what? That should be a public service announcement. Just like you said it. That is a PSA for anyone who says, it doesn't matter who I attract. No, it's not about that. It may be about that for someone, but it's not about that for you. It's about you. Your commercial. I love that. I love that. When
you're feeling down, I know for myself, even when you're feeling a little low, getting dressed up always tends to make you feel better. So no, it has nothing to do with anybody else. It has everything to do with you and how you feel and what you want to.
Very good. Very good. Let me ask you one more. I think one more. Is there one area you think women should focus on to improve the way that they are perceived? And it doesn't have to be fashion.
Yeah, your attitude. Really, your attitude and how you carry yourself, your character. But I think your attitude overall, because that tells a lot of, that's everything. If you're wearing casual clothes, business casual, formal, that attitude and feeling confident and knowing you look good is what matters. It's going to change that whole thing. If you walk around looking good, but you walk around with the look that you don't think you look good and there's no self-confidence there and you're acting all like you want to go and hide in a closet, it's not going to be good for the outfit. You're not going to make that outfit look good unless you have that attitude that shows that, hey, I'm wearing this. It may not be the best looking outfit at all, but because you're wearing it like it is, it's going to change a lot of people's perception when they look at you about that outfit.
Yes, very good.
You gotta own it. I think it's all in the attitude.
Yes.
Definitely.
So did you hear that? Work on your attitude.
Yeah, work on your attitude.
Work on your attitude. And I listen, I know for personally that there have been people and women that were dressed very well, but because their attitude was so deplorable, it made them unapproachable. And maybe they didn't want to be approached, and that's the way they wanted. But if you are the person who says, I don't mind someone approaching me and speaking and saying hello, I don't mind that, then maybe changing your attitude, not even just that, but even at work. Some of your attitudes are horrible at work. And it doesn't matter how well you dress or how poorly you dress. Your attitude is so horrible that people don't even want to be around you.
Right. you'll always get looked over for the next position because you can be dressed to the nines or what they call it, but you'll never get the position because your attitude isn't right. I think everything, it starts with your attitude.
Yes.
It starts with.
Well, the saying goes, your attitude affects your altitude, how high you can go. And it does matter. Very, very good point. Very good point. I'm telling you, we could continue talking all night, I'm sure, but I don't know if anyone would be willing to hear us. So I'm telling you, listen, I thank you for joining us on tonight. I thank you for sharing with us. And listen, I have to ask you before I let you go, will you come back and have another conversation with us? Will you come back?
Definitely.
Well, we thank you. And listen to all my beautiful butterflies out there. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for taking the time to have this conversation and just hear our views and hear the tips that we wanted to offer on tonight. And I'm telling you, before I go, I just want to again thank you for joining us. And I hope that these tips help you make a lifestyle change for the better. Your dress code. Classy options deliver every time. Classy options deliver every time. So I want you to know, you got this. You got this. Your own dress code, your own personal commercial. We're not going to see you in a bonnet anymore because you got this. And I really hope that you take this seriously. Take the tip that Candida offered just now. Adjust the attitude. It could change the way people perceive you if you would just make that little change. Change the attitude and watch your altitude change. All right. We thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you next week. Have a good fashion and a good night. And remember, HeSpoke fashion to you. That's all we have. Good night, and we'll see you next week.